Over the years, I've done several types of coat racks or coat hooks that hang on the wall. We're cut out of various types of wood and stuff, but I've never published plans for them. So, thought I'd make one more coat rack that goes on the wall. This one a little more elaborate than the last. You know, I had a simple line of hooks, and I had one that just was intended to mount on the back of a door, and then just a single hook design. I'll probably publish those as one plan, and this will be a separate plan. This I'm calling the WallTree. I was shooting for kind of an Art Deco look. These are going to be the hooks that I cut out that are going to go on it. Let's see. I printed it using the poster mode of the PDF Adobe Reader. A little tricky to line up, but it's not too bad. You can do it if you try. So I'm going to cut that out on a 1/2-inch birch plywood. Actually kind of wanted it with solid wood, but the plywood will work out fine. Since the wife doesn't really feel we have space for it in the house anyway, probably donate it to the church picnic. First, we want to pick which side of the board we're going to use. A lot of times with plywood, you'll have some infill on one of the sides. This side is pretty nice, but there is a little fill over here. This side has no fill, a few knots. That's not a plus or a minus, just happens to be there. I think I'll go with this side. I like the knots. They look like they're all stable. You know, it's just plywood, it's just thin sheet. So, I have everything, I cut down my patterns to size a little better. I'm going to just kind of lay things out. We're going to try and pull this off. And I can get, you know, how many of these do I need? Did I make extra? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Alright. I did, but not that much extra, so I could do something like that. Here, there's a couple of the hooks I'm going to cut out. You'll notice I have a few different lines on this piece, on this part right here. That's for different thicknesses of wood. In this case, it's a 1/2 inch, so I think I'll go to that line right there. Okay, actually, the 1/2 inch is right there. So we'll cut it off just a hair short of there, so it doesn't stick out the back of the wood. Here we have the first hook. I went with more of an angular shape to go match up with more of the angular geometric design of the structure that's going to go on the wall. Looks like it should stand up nicely. Alright, we have the pattern attached to the wood. The main portion of what I'm calling the WallTree. I believe I made it small enough so it'll work within the turn radiuses of my scroll saw. So now I'm just going to attempt to cut her down so that I can work with it. Normally I would always work from the inside out, but because I'm going to need every little bit for rotation space, I'm going to trim this one side, more wild side down here a little bit, and at least trim it down to here, to this corner here, before I continue and do the interior portions. That blade dulled very quickly. I was having a lot of trouble getting a good straight cut with this larger piece of wood to work with the blade I had in there. So I'm trying a PGT blade, a precision ground tooth blade. That they're much better at cutting straight lines, but they're not so good at doing tight corners and pivots. So we'll give that a whirl. Turns out I made the width of my holes the wrong size. The last time I made one of these coat racks or coat hooks or whatever you want to call them, it was 3/8 inch thick. I just kind of followed the pattern over for this design. So what I'm doing is I made a little template. I cut it in a way where I can line up the lines on the top and the bottom. I'm just taping them over. It has a few common sizes. 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch. The 1/2 inch, of course, is what I'm doing right now. And I'm just kind of lining them up, gluing them down. I'll update the main pattern for this so that that wouldn't be necessary, of course. It's always a good idea to take your piece and line it up with your holes and just make sure they're going to be the right size. Decide whether you're cutting on the line, inside the line, or whether you have to make new lines. Because you always want them to have a nice snug fit. Made good progress cutting things out, but as I'm going, I decided I wanted another space or opening in these top two pieces, just to give it, a more consistent look across the unit. So what I've done is I've made a couple patterns I've cut out. I'm going to just attach on that have the opening I want. I'll just glue that on there and cut it out with that, and that way they're both the same. Here we are. Everything's cut out. I've done quite a bit of sanding, rounded the edges a little bit to try and take off some of the sharp points. I'm going to stain this up with the ebony, nice black color, and then the hooks I'm going to do with the red oak. See if that makes a nice contrast. For the most part they all fit in pretty good now, so that's the way it shall be. Here I have the WallTree. Stained it with a ebony stain, and I think that was a red oak that I did on the hook part to get a little contrast with it. You don't see it so much straight on as you do from the side. I'll screw her on the wall so we can take a look at it that way. Then it's going to be donated to the St. Benedict Swamico Church Picnic silent auction. Here's the finished WallTree hanging on the wall. Obviously, it would need to be screwed into a stud. It would need 2 screws, not just one. But I think it looks pretty nice. Thanks for watching the video. Plans will be available on my website at jplans.com if you want to try and make it yourself. Once again, thanks for watching. Bye.